Nice. Hello and welcome back to Dukes on Twitch. Back today with Legacy Punishing Maverick. So Legacy Punishing Maverick, a deck that's been around for a long time. It does have a little bit of resemblance to 4-color Loam, which over the past few years a lot of players have moved to and move away from Punishing Fire or Punishing Maverick, and really just like that turn 1 consistency of Mox Diamond or Chalice of the Void. You know, early card advantage through Dark Confidant. 4-color Loam definitely has its merits over Punishing Maverick, and I feel like Punishing Maverick was kind of put to the side for a bit, but I think it's on the rise again. And I think it's really because of some of these cards. So I think Punishing Maverick definitely has the best answer right now to Oko, mainly because you can deal with it on the stack, whereas other removal, you have to spend a card on Oko that's probably already made card advantage. So that's not the greatest feeling around. So having a way to deal with Oko on the stack is really nice. Also, just the Grove and Punishing Fire combo is really nice in Maverick. Maverick's not really used to having recursion for removal, so having the Punishing Fire suite is really nice. We are only playing 2 copies. I wanted to fit in some more creatures. More or less the God of Destiny here. But we'll get to that in a sec. So traditionally, Punishing Maverick has dropped Thalia from the main deck and played it in the sideboard due to an increase in non-creature spells compared to Green-White Maverick and Green-White Black Maverick, where usually you just have the 4 swords and the 4 green suns, maybe some Sylvan Libraries. You might have the Stoneforge Mystic package, but that's kind of negated by Stoneforge anyway. But I think in the current meta, you really need Thalia in the main deck, especially against these combo decks. And she doesn't play around too badly with Punishing Fire. Punishing Fire with Grove of the Burnwillows is, of course, a pretty matter-intensive way to recur removal. You know, it takes 2 mana to cast it, 1 mana to return it, 2 mana to cast it. So if you're wanting to kill a 4-power creature, you need at least 5 mana out, or 4 mana including Grove. So that will be interesting. So I really enjoyed it in the recorded game that I have. I have a recorded league with this on my YouTube if you want to check it out. Dare to be a donut. This list does look really fun. So going through some of the Green Sun's targets, we have Hexdrinker. I really like it in this deck because we do have a great number of creatures still. So Gaea's Cradle is a great way to tick up Hexdrinker. It also just creates a pretty hard to deal with threat early on for decks that have to work at instant speed, so Hexdrinker is going to be nice. Dryad Militant is great against the graveyard storm decks like Breach. It does work pretty awfully with Punishing Fire, but I think in the matchups where we want Dryad Militant, we don't really care about Punishing Fire, so I'm not too concerned about that dyssynergy. We're playing Maindeck Collector Ouphe. Maindeck Collector Ouphe right now is really nice. It's also really good because we're not playing the Stoneforge Mystic package. We don't really have any artifacts of ourselves other than Tireless Tracker's clues, which hopefully just won't come up. But Collector Ouphe turning off things like LED, Lotus Petal, Aether Vial, Equipment, Astrolabe. I think Collector Ouphe has a lot of really good skin right now in the game, so that's going to be really nice. Against a lot of the Storm decks now, we're really just green sunning for 2 for Ouphe, and kind of missing out on Teeg entirely because a lot of decks right now can combo off under Teeg, which is kind of scary. Screws, always there, love it. Graveyard Hate, a threat that can become pretty out of hand pretty quickly if my opponent doesn't have removal. Scryb Ranger, really nice. It's a flyer, it's got pro blue, so it's great against Delver. It allows us to use multiple uses of untapped creatures, so Mother of Runes, Birds, Noble, Knight. Also just to untap a creature in combat, to do combat tricks can be pretty cool. I actually did a piece on the Green Sun Zenith about tips and tricks in the deck. So I'm actually going to link that in the chat because there are a few, and I actually updated it over the weekend. So if you ever have some spare time, definitely check it out. Qasali Pridemage and Gaddock Teeg, just 2 really good ones. I really like Qasali Pridemage in the deck over Night of Autumn, just because it's another 2-drop, which is nice instead of just another 3-drop. And it also allows us to interact at instant speed, which I think is pretty crucial right now. So having the Qasali Pridemage is really nice. Tireless Tracker. I actually found room for this by dropping the 3rd Punishing Fire. I really just wanted to fit it in. I didn't want to drop down from 4 Knights. and I just wanted that extra card advantage. If anything, I could probably drop a Sylvan Library for Traco, because I kind of feel they're in the same sort of slot against the grindy decks where we want them. But I think we're fine with just having the 2 Punishing Fires and the 4 Swords. God of Destiny is going to be interesting. We got to exile a Life Loam in a game 1, which was really cool. And then also hit some lands, which was nice because we got to get the other sort of ability from God of Destiny. We haven't had her online yet. We haven't been able to turn her on. So hopefully this league we can see how she goes and get there. It's really nice because against decks like Miracles, it's subtle advantage by taking out cards they might want to Snapcaster later. And it's also quite hard to deal with. So outside of Council's Judgment, there's not too much that they can do about it. Unless we accidentally put her online as a creature, I guess. But otherwise, it's pretty good. It's going to be pretty fun. Questing Beast has just been really good, so I'm really happy to see Questing Beast around. Sylvan Library, I really like the consistency of the deck, so I like keeping it consistent through Sylvan Library. It allows us to be really aggressive against the decks we can be, like Depths. And Green Sun Zenith, of course, just allows us to find the cards we need, which is really nice. Swords of Plowshares, Punishing Fires are removal. Graveyard Hate is Leyline of the Void. Really want something right now that's just going to remove the graveyard as a resource for our opponent. I'm not a big fan of targeted removal right now, like Surgical or Fairy Macabre. I think Leyline actually works really well in this deck, where it may just buy us enough time to actually set up a board state that once they deal with Leyline, we've already got a board state of maybe Thalia or Scooze, where it's going to be hard for them to deal with that as well. Pyroblast and Red Elemental Blasts are really there for combo. Also there for things like Miracles, Jace, Oko, of course. There's a few good cards you can hit. Legacy does have a few good blue cards in it. So even something like a True Name on the stack is pretty good, because otherwise we don't really have an out to True Name, other than Questing Beast or Mother of Runes. Veil of Summer is kind of the flex slot. I wasn't too sure what to drop, because I think Veil might be a little bit overkill, but you know, I don't think you can go wrong right now with Veil. It seems really nice, but once all the decks that Veil of Summer is good against rotate out of the format by players who are just sick of Veil of Summer, then obviously it's going to get worse, but I think right now it's still in a fine slot against the black combo decks where they have Thoughtseize or Unmask or Duress. It's pretty nice to have Veil just to keep your combo pieces, or your combo your creatures that are going to keep them from comboing safe in your hand is really nice. Ramunap's there for some of the lands decks. So I'm Australian, so I'm not sure if it's different for people who who stream during, you know, the more popular times. But we come up against a lot of lands decks, more or less the Bug Titan decks that are also playing Field of the Dead and Oko. So Ramunap's kind of nice against those decks. It's great against the Mirror. It's great against other Wasteland decks just to try to stay ahead on mana, because, well, of course, with the Punishing Fire combo, we do want to stay ahead on mana a little bit. So making sure we can hit each land drop, replay things like Grove, is going to be really nice. However, because of the uptick in basics, mainly snow-covered basics and decks playing a lot of basics, Ramunap and the whole Wasteland lock has come a little bit worse. So we'll see how Ramunap goes in the sideboard. It might not even be worth it, so that should be pretty fun to test. I did have 2 Cindervines in the deck, but I just didn't really like them. Once we traded it for a... I can't even remember the name of the card, but I didn't really like Cindervines, so I'm going to try Force of Vigor, because during my league I lost to a Chalice on 1 from Mono Red Prison. And against the other decks, we just really wanted the Force. So I'm pretty happy to have it in this deck, especially with the high amount of green cards in it. And then lastly, Jide. Jide is just good against the fed creature matchups. D&T are probably keeping the Collector Ouphe, even though we're bringing in the Jides, but I think that if we have either on board, and especially if Collector Ouphe is being protected by something like Mother of Runes, then we're going to be doing pretty well. So I think the deck has a lot of game against a lot of different decks. It's just a case of being consistent enough to be able to find those in time, because what you don't have by playing non-blue decks is consistency. So you can't, you know, Miracles could keep a great draw against Death and Taxes, Thunder against Storm, and then Ponder and Brainstorm their way into a hand that would be really good against combo. But Maverick, you kind of got to keep what you get. Green Suns does help. So, you know, you might have a plan to Green Suns for another Reliquary or a Scavenging Ooze, and then you find out you're against combo, and you quickly can, you know, Green Suns instead for Collector Ouphe or Gaddock Teeg. We do have some dead cards, so say Swords of Plowshares against, you know, Storm in game 1 probably isn't going to be as great, but we don't really have ways of shuffling them away or really trying to replace them with cards that are going to be effective. So Maverick does have that issue. I think Sylvan Library and Green Suns help a lot. So this league will be really interesting. We'll get straight into it. A huge thank you to Card Hoarder, who of course sponsors the channel, allows me to get these cards ad hoc, and also to mtgmate.com.au, which is an Australian online reseller. You can get 5% off singles through the code DOOGS. They have a really good buy list as well, so if you want to buy list some cards, I know they're looking for a lot right now, so I believe you can get 25% more on store credit, which is pretty sweet. Doing a league with play points with punishing. Nice. Yeah, Veil is pretty good against Oko, Deadabee Donut, especially in response to the trade, or in response to just the make it a 3-3. It can save us, which is nice. Blood Moon Omegas would be cool, but I've found in the past that this deck has been hit pretty hard by Blood Moon. We only run one basic of each, so one Forest, one Plains. If I had a bit more experience with the deck, then I might try it out, but I think for now I'll take a pretty easy, or just a pretty generic 75 and play that, and then see what I'm playing against the most. Maybe if I can move my sideboard around then, or even my main deck Silver Bullets, and go from there. But we have match 1, which is really nice. And we're on the play against Word Juicebox. This hand is okay. The nice thing is that we have something for the fair decks, and we have something for the combo decks. Having one Grove is nice, but I think it's a lot easier to find Grove than it is Punishing Fire, so the other way around would be nice. We also have 5 lands, but the Horizon Canopy is pretty much a spell, as we can cycle it away later on. What this hand doesn't have is early mana, and it doesn't have the flexibility of Green Sun Zenith, so I think this is fine to keep. We can definitely, whatever we draw into, we can cast, which is really nice. So I'm actually going to go ahead and keep this. We're just going to play the Foothills and pass. Hey, Miguel. Haha, welcome. Are you playing any Paper Legacy this week? Another Swords. Not the worst. Gonna fetch first. Probably just getting Savannah here. Yeah, I think we can get a good crowd for Friday, hopefully. The Gold Coast has actually been having really good numbers. So the Gold Coast, for a few times now, have played, I think, 4 weeks now and got between 12 and 15, which is pretty cool. But yeah, hopefully we can get like a solid 10 would be cool on Friday. Maybe even go to Creole after, that'd be pretty nice. So Polluted Delta doesn't give too much away. Could be a combo deck, could be a Delver deck. Double Polluted Delta, okay. I think here I just like, if I don't draw into a spell, maybe just playing the Canopy and passing. Okay, well Sylvan Library is really nice. If they want to force this, it means they have to get rid of the Teeg first. I can also, I can try to hide as much as possible that we are playing red in game 1. They gave you a shirt last night? Very nice. Haha, that's very cool to hear. So Sylvan Library is going to be really nice, because it kind of gives us an answer to what we were missing in this hand, which was really more spells. Just lands from my opponent. So I don't really want to draw this third swords, but I think I'm happy paying the 4 mana for Taiga here. Could be black-red. I was trying to think of why Teeg would slow down black-red this much, and I'm not too sure if it would. I'm just going to go for Hexdrinker now. If they want to deal with it, they can deal with it, but it looks like they don't really have anything. Okay. Interesting. Maybe they have some sort of bounce spell and they're waiting to draw it or draw into something like Ponder or Brainstorm, but surely they would have hit it by now. I guess next turn we could even make this Hexdrinker pretty big. But our opponent looks like they're going to go to discard. Surely not. At least that'll give us some information, but for now, just fetch lands is a little bit rough. Okay, so they are going to be a combo deck. Interesting that they played this out. I wonder if I want to... So I think if they're a combo deck, I really want to find a second piece of hate pretty quickly. So I think what I should do here is actually draw a card first to draw that Swords to Plowshares on top and then get to look at another 3. Which I am going to do. Which is also cool because with Sylvan Library's ability, I can also put back the sword, I believe. And Collector Ouphe is going to be insane. So let's go put on top. Put on top. Play Taiga. Play Ouphe. Get in for 6. Putting them to 10, which is pretty much 7 if they want to crackle their fetch lands. So next turn we pretty much have lethal, which is nice. Hey, Floppy Minx, thanks for the raid. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what do you play in Legacy? That'd be pretty cool. All right, so we're seeing some fetches. So the Lotus Petal is interesting, and I think they might have played it to play around something like Thalia, but it looks like they're going to try to go off here. Rite of Flame, okay. So it is a Storm deck. Maybe they have... No, I was going to say Grape Shot, but maybe they have another way to get rid of this. Hey, Hamster1379, thanks for the follow. Let me know where you're from. If you play Magic, what do you play in Magic? Hey, Nicholas Belland, thanks for the follow. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what do you play in Legacy? Burning Wish. Maybe they're just getting something like Massacre? Grape Shot. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Can we swords in response? Is this going to be enough? You're from Canada, play Mono Red Prison in Legacy, top 16, last 2 SCG opens in Syracuse, but Wizards killed Legacy. Hey, good on you, man, that's awesome. I'm actually coming to Canada at the end of this year with my girlfriend, which should be pretty fun. Having 3 weeks. Yeah, so I think... so it looks like they're actually targeting Gaddock Teeg with some of it. Maybe they're changing targets here. Oh, very cool. How do you like mono red? How do you like our mono red prison right now, and how it's yeah, what it's like in the format? It seems pretty cool. Chalice seems okay. Trinisphere seems really good. Yeah, Oko is pretty bad for it. I guess you can play, if you really want to hedge against it, you can play Pyroblast, but, you know, that does go against your Chalice plan, and also your... Trinisphere plan. So it looks like they're wanting to kind of wipe my board. But funnily enough, next turn we can Green Suns for Questing Beast and get in for 6. Which also turns off this fetch land, which is kind of nice. 4-1, 4-1, 3-2. Nice. Yeah, to be fair, I feel like Mono Red Prison is also one of those decks where if people do associate it with being not that great in the format, especially when Oko's around, then it's going to be pretty good when people don't expect it. Because, you know, turn one Blood Moon is just so good against a lot of decks. Even ones that play basics, sure they play basics, but they have to have it. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hmm. 0 cards in hand, and they didn't kill the Collector Ouphe. Yeah, it's a tough one. At least boarding's pretty nice. Force is interesting. I think we look at what we take out first. We definitely take out the Swords to Plowshares. Punishing Fire. Questing Beast isn't that great. I think God of Destiny is also a little bit too slow. I think Leyline's fine. Hey, well, Nick, thanks for stopping in. Hopefully, see you another time. And all the best in Canada. Might see you around. Can probably drop a Wasteland. I'm pretty happy to drop a land. Veil's interesting. I believe they play Thoughtseize, even though we're on the draw. I don't mind. Force of Vigor is interesting, especially if they're playing. It's really between the elemental, the blasts, or the Force of Vigor here for 3 more cards. They do play Mox Opals and Chrome Mox. The one thing that I really like about targeting their artifacts as well is that we saw there where they actually were a little bit scared of Thalia, so they played out a Petal and passed. So they might actually do that a few times. Are the Veils worth it? I'm not sure if the Veils are actually worth it here. Definitely go the Pyros. Okay, then let's take out the Veils and just add in 1 more Elemental Blast. I kind of like this. Three blasts is too much. You flood on them. I guess because I don't have the advantage of Ponder or Brainstorm. I really want to make sure I draw into one to have one. I mean, if I flood on them, then I don't mind going after a Ponder or a Preordain or a Brainstorm. You always bring in 2. That's fair enough. I guess at least you get so many more hits. We're going to go with this. We're going to try this out and see how we go. And hopefully we just get up this game as well. But if there is another one, it's not too bad. And this hand is interesting. So the ley line's nice. We get to start with a Noble Hierarch, and then we can Green Suns for 1 next turn, or if we draw a land over our next 2 draw steps, we can also try to get in for a Gaddock Teeg. I think this is good enough just because of the ley line as well. Hitting something like Rider Flame's pretty good, and if this opponent is also on something like Echoes of Eons, then I'm happy to have this. So I'm going to keep this. Even though it really only has 1 hate piece in Green Suns, I guess, and the ley line, it's a little bit rough. So if they try to, like, if they go for a Thoughtseize and hit the Green Suns, then this hand is a little bit better, but I think this is fine. We're going to keep this. Hey, Echo, welcome to the stream. This is Punishing Maverick. You are welcome. Alright, Mox Opal. Lotus Petal. Interesting, Brainstorm after. I guess they had to turn on the Mox Opal. Maybe they're just going for an early, empty? Burning Wish. Adnors? Empty, okay. Yeah, it's going to be pretty hard to beat. That's going to be pretty hard to beat. Do we have anything? Do we have anything that can beat this? We definitely have to fetch, so we might as well have a look. I don't believe we do. It's not really, there's not really anything we can do there. I think we just have to run this back. And just see how it goes. I think this is fine. I'd love to play first. And this hand is interesting. So we don't have a green source, but we do have Pyroblast, Plateau, and Leyline. I think because we can't cast really anything else and be proactive, we have to mulligan this, unfortunately. It's a tough one, though. We'll mulligan. This hand is really nice. I'm going to keep this. And I'm going to put back... I'm going to put back a land. Probably the Taiga. Because the Scryb Ranger can really just act as our mana from now on. So let's put back Taiga and then just play Wooded Foothills and hold up Pyroblast. Opponent kept 7. Pyroblast also saves us from something like Echoing Truth, which is kind of nice. Ugh. That's pretty rough. We don't have a way to get back Gaddock Teeg. Maybe on the play it was worth bringing in the Veil of Summer. I think Teeg does enough to slow them down so that we can play other spells. That's the big issue. I think I'm pretty happy just to Pyroblast this. Do I want to get a Taiga? I believe I do. At least I can play the Scryb Ranger at instant speed, so I can act like I've drawn into another Pyroblast or Veil of Summer. Echoes. Interesting. So do I want to play this Scryb Ranger, or do I want to hold up Taiga? I think I'd rather just hold up Taiga. Maybe the Teeg hand was just too slow. I guess it was nice because it also had the Red Elemental Blast. And there's definitely more Brainstorms and Ponders in the deck than there are Thoughtseize. Hey, Joanne, you're welcome. For anyone who's looking for some great Legacy content, you should definitely check out Joanne's primer on Legacy Humans, which is very cool. I'm actually going to find it. Leyland's a little bit dead here. I guess the Witchclaw allows us to go and find Collector Ouphe, which is kind of nice if we do get a turn, but really need that turn. So in chat, you can find Joanne's primer on 5-color humans in Legacy, which is a pretty awesome piece of content. Obviously, a lot of hard work was put into it, and he's done a really good job. So our opponent has 3 cards. I think it's going to be, if they pass the turn with 3 Lotus Mana Rocks there, I think I just have to go for Collector Ouphe. Just because then it also turns off the Talisman. Hey, you're welcome. Anytime. Whew. Tough. Ah, here we go. Okay. Looks like they found a line. Another Witchclaw. Probably just getting another Echo. Ah, Chain of Vapor. Interesting. Doesn't look good. Unfortunately, it doesn't look good. Interesting. Just passing? Yeah, it's fair enough. I guess maybe here we just go for Horizon Canopy, Noble and Sylvan Library. I guess they can hit Echo. That would be pretty good. Let's look what they do with this Ponder. Hopefully a shuffle. Chose not to shuffle. Ugh. What can we find? Pyroblast. Okay, interesting. Okay, Force of Vigor is pretty nice. I believe we can pitch the Dryad Arbor to it. And I think we just forced the LED in our turn. Well, I can just tap out for the Force. I can tap out the Force and also hold up Pyroblast. So I might just pay 4 and then put Mum on top. And then we can use a fetch land. Hey, MSIS, thanks for the follow. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what do you play in Legacy? You live in the internet. I guess we can also draw a card here. See what we draw into. Just like a blind draw. Another Pyroblast, okay. Not the greatest because we do have a... Yeah, I'm going to make sure that I stop in my opponent's turn. There we go. Alright, so we will target LED, exiling this. Now if our opponent tries to brainstorm, we currently have a Pyroblast at the ready, which is nice. Maybe they just go for Wishclaw pass. Alright, we get a fresh look now, which is really nice. Green Suns? Windswept Heath. Okay, 2 more cards. Force and Knight. Well, Force is nice on this. So what I don't mind doing is... probably put the Windswept on top. Yeah, so I can't do both Wish Claws. So I could put back the Force. I think we definitely have the Knight this turn. But I kind of want to fetch, which is interesting. But maybe it's put on top, put on top. We do have a fetch land, but it fetches away the Force. Play a land. Play a Knight. And then pass. Ritual's gonna be fine. LED is going to be pretty good. I guess if they try to go for Echoes, then at least we have Pyroblast. They could even just be going for empty here. Adnors, okay. It's looking pretty good. Especially with Burning Wish. Is there really anything else to hit? And I don't think there is. And even if they do go for Echoes, we can still fetch for our other source of mana. Yeah, sadly they just do have it. Still pretty happy to try to counter at least something. But yeah, having the Burning Wish and the fast mana is pretty rough. Because an empty here would just be more than enough. Yeah, they could Grape Shot as well. Nice. So definitely not the start we wanted, but a pretty cool game. Would have been nice to see maybe just a little bit more action on top of the deck, but that is just magic sometimes, and you gotta take the wins with the losses with the wins. But yeah, I think Collector Ouphe would have been really nice there, especially because they had those mana rocks out early, and just shutting down LED as well is so good, but didn't get there. I could see something like Mindbreak Trap in the sideboard, which would be kind of cool. I've seen that popping up every now and then. The Veils are okay, but you know they're pretty soft right now. Yeah, Wish Claw's pretty good. Pretty good. Especially, like, the downside of your opponent getting a card doesn't really matter if you're going to win on the same turn. Unfortunately. Sadly, we can't play it, but maybe one day there's a build there where we can play Wish Claw ourselves. At least it was Grape Shot that killed us. Empty's always a kind of feel bad. I'm sure I could try to run some sort of like Pyroclasm effect in the board. Ah, interesting. I could run Blazing Volley, which is kind of cool. But I don't think it's really worth it. On the play against JPA. Very cool, okay. This hand's fine. The Green Suns is really nice, especially with the Noble Hierarch, because we have so many good 2-drop creatures. So I'm going to keep this. JPA is very well known for Sneak and Show Online, but I believe they've been playing other decks. What do I want to do here? I think I'm happy just going snow-covered forest into Hierarch here, to be fair. Scalding Tarn, okay. Delver, okay. So we get a pretty cool start here. We can Wasteland and Swords. Which I definitely like doing. Do I want to go for Dryad Arbor here? Maybe I want to keep Green Suns in case we just draw into another land. I think I'm happy actually just waiting a turn. Seeing we already have just enough lands in hand to really make land drops for the rest of the game. Wow, okay. Well, we're up against Delver. So I don't mind taking out Teeg and Pridemage. Collector Ouphe can also most likely come out. I don't mind, of course, Blasts. And I don't mind Jide. Tireless Track is nice, but against a Bolt deck it can be pretty bad. Questing Beast is nice because of True Name. Cloth is interesting. Maybe it's a case of then just Pyroblasts. Yeah, Cloth seems pretty sweet. I mean, this is 61, so I could cut back. Maybe it's a Thalia on the draw, especially if we're bringing in so many non-creature spells. I don't mind this. What would I drop? I guess Green Suns. I don't mind dropping Green Suns because there isn't really one specific card we want against this deck. So I'm going to drop a Green Suns and go for a red Elemental Blast. This seems pretty good. It's also nice because the Delver starts can really affect us in a pretty aggressive way. What is this hand? Turn 2 Sylvan Library. Hey, Matsol, a huge thank you for this sub. That means a lot. Matsol, of course, is a huge green mage with a lot of good finishes behind his name. This hand's, I'm going to go with this. This is pretty nice. I really like the Sylvan Library. We don't have any specific removal spells, but hopefully we aren't up against a pretty fast start from our opponent. I really want to Wasteland here, but I think I really have to build out my mana and hopefully get the Sylvan Library down next turn. No flip. Interesting. We do have the ability here to bait out a Bolt if they have it. I think Delver's a really big issue for us early on, so I don't mind trading there. Dreadhorde, okay. I'm going to lead on Wasteland, Because at least if they want to Wasteland us, we can respond. And I don't really want to put one of my green sources, well, really our only white source or only red source, at its mercy. Something like a young Pyromancer would be getting pretty tough, but double Arcanist isn't too bad. Alright, let's go with Grove into Sylvan Library. Alright. Another Arcanist. Okay. I guess at least our Knight's a 4/4 next turn if it gets down. Three cards left for my opponent. Days, okay. Maybe God of Destiny was better there. Hexdrinker, interesting. Beautiful. I believe if it's a land, then we get the life and the mana, which is kind of cool. Play Hexdrinker. Ah, of course. Of course. They have 2 cards left. I think it's worth at least trying. All right. What does it reveal? Nothing. They're gonna fetch. I think in response I'm gonna fetch. One, two, three, 6. Go to 2. Ugh. Beast. Interesting. Okay. Let's get rid of Delver. I don't think Beast is enough though. Go to 4. And then we can go 1, 2, 3, 4 for Beast. And then to be fair, we're just taking 4 anyway. Well, we might as well act like we have Swords to Plowshares. Could have attacked as well. Could have attacked as well. Do I want to change anything? I don't think so. I think maybe bring back the Thalia. I think the Hexdrinker is not where I want to be. Let's bring back the Thalia. Alright. This hand is pretty risky. It doesn't really do anything. I thought this was actually a Noble Hierarch, so I'm going to mulligan this. This hand's okay. I'm going to keep it and bottom the Dryad Arbor. Yeah, the plow was for my own dude, not for theirs. Okay. What do they do? One bottom, one top. Okay. Tracker. Okay. Yeah, I think because I'm pretty dead to a Delver in this hand, I want to keep the Pyroblast as removal. Interesting. Noble's actually a fantastic draw, because now we can attack with First Strike with this Thalia, and also hold up Pyroblast. Or hold up Krakus. Bolt on Thalia. I think I'm happy here just to return. There's no reason not to. Second Thalia. Even though I get value off the tracker with this land, I'm going to play it. This is fine. Scryb Ranger. I honestly think I would just like Scryb Ranger here. Hold up Scryb Ranger and Pyroblast. I don't really like playing the tracker and tapping the Karakas or fetching. I think we can wait one more turn. Braid. I'm going to play the Scryb Ranger. Because now I can't be forced with Thalia out. And then just return this again. Scryb is also really nice with Tireless Tracker, but it might just not be enough. Maybe Tireless Tracker just isn't great because of the amount of damage spells they have. Like, even a Braid kills a Tireless Tracker. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Tracker either. I guess it's a case of what's better. Like, maybe Ramunap's up there because it can just, like... It blocks Dreadhorde for days. Gets back Wasteland, which is kind of nice. Yeah, Dreadhorde's been pretty fantastic. Without the Noble Hierarch, it's pretty hard to deal with. Ponder's fine. Fed straight away probably means another Ponder? Ah, of course, I want to flash it back. There's what I've been waiting for. They most likely have removal for it in a counter magic, but I have to like at least try to counter this true name. I guess, did they fetch again? Surely not. Not sure why that Delver didn't flip. Hey, Jibsley. Welcome to the stream. It's pretty good. Don't think we have an out here. Just too fast. I guess we can draw a card. Yeah. Yeah, the true name's just too good, especially with the true name and the Dreadhorde, just too much value. Rough. Just a little bit too fair there. Just couldn't get that Dreadhorde off the rails, which I've definitely seen some Punishing Fire or Punishing Maverick decks play Lightning Bolt in their main deck, which makes a lot of sense with the amount of 3-drops in the format, or at least just to deal with maybe dealing an extra damage to Oko or dealing with Dreadhorde Arcanist. Sometimes the difference between 2 and 3 is pretty huge. Alright, on the play against Moon Madness. And this hand is interesting. I really don't like it. We really rely on the Noble Hierarch for white mana. So I'm going to mulligan this. This is interesting. This is... I don't mind this. The Collector Ouphe is really good against some of the decks that are around right now. For combo. And the Swords and Punishing Fire is really nice against the fair decks. So I kind of like this, bottoming up a Swords. And then just go Windswept Heath pass. Bring back DRS? I would love to see Death Ride back. Would I? Probably not. Maybe. I don't know. Haha. Oh, Pendelhaven. Okay, this looks like Infect. Interesting. Do I want to go after their mana? I think I'm happy untapping here. Land. I'm gonna get Plateau here. I guess they could try to save this with like a Invigorate, but we'll see what happens. Ah, they can't because they need a Controller Forest, of course. Apologies, apologies. Jack and M, thank you very much for being on top of that. Keeping me in check. Keeping me in check. Alright. Another Swords is really nice. So now we can still go after their mana. Hopefully. See what they do. They might even try to protect it somehow. Oh, they are going to try to protect it. Interesting. I think this is fine. I'm going to play out Hexdrinker. They don't have blue mana, but if they hit a infect creature, then we don't have much. I think just because they're obviously going to hit a blue mana source a lot faster than they are an infect creature. See what they do with this. Chose not to shuffle, okay. Inkmoth, nice. Glistener Elf, okay. Thalia. They have 2 cards in hand. I definitely like just going with Thalia now. And then pass back. So Pendelhaven means we can't really block anything. Another Noble's pretty good. Another Noble's kind of nice because it probably makes them want to attack with just one creature a turn. Sadly, Collector Ouphe is really just fodder. Interesting. Are they just attacking with the Inkmoth? They must be. I guess Wasteland's a pretty good draw. Another Swords. Okay. Interesting. Three cards in hand. I guess what another line is to attack with the Thalia, let them block with the Glistener Elf, then Pendelhaven it. Actually, they couldn't. I was going to say maybe there was a way we could attack with the Thalia, make them actually kill it, and then have double swords up instead of just one. But I think even though Thalia is taxing us here, it is probably doing a little bit of harm for our opponent as well. We definitely may be dead. Especially if they play like Scale Up. But, you know, the more mana they use here without casting some sort of hexproof spell, the less outs they have. Happy for this. This is just another 4. Invigorate. Well, that's going to kill us. So I guess we have to Swords now. But they do have 2 mana up. They have Force blue card. To the board. Jide seems great. Pyroblast seems great. I don't mind Force of Vigor in this matchup. Yeah, Klothys is a little bit slow. Tile Strike is a little bit slow. Gaddock Teeg is interesting, but I think it hurts us more than them. Collector Ouphe can come out for sure. Hexdrinker is interesting. I think Dryad Militant can come out, especially when we want the Punishing Fire combo. Pridemage I really like because it hits Inkmoth Nexus, and it also hits other things like Sylvan Library if they play Sylvan Library. Ramunap's kind of nice. One more card out. I think it's maybe Scooze. I think this is pretty good. Ramunap's really nice because sometimes we just need the Wasteland lock with Inkmoth or blue sources. Everything else kind of has its place. Mum's still really good as just a 1-drop creature that can try to block Glistener Elf as long as possible. I don't think I need the extra. I kind of want it just in case because Blighted Agent is just so good against this deck. And I think I'm actually happy to drop a Green Suns because we're not really looking for anything quite quickly. There's no one silver ball that does a whole lot. They don't play much blue, but for the blue that, like, I definitely want to have a Pyroblast or a Red Elemental Blast around if they have a Blooded Agent. And at least maybe I can also slow down some of their cantrips. See how this goes. Yeah, bolts would be sweet, but we can't do anything right now, so we'll go ahead with what we have and just hopefully have a good game 2 and 3. Alright, would love to play first. And this hand's interesting. It's a Thalia and a Knight, so I think it's just a little bit too slow, so I'm going to mulligan this. This hand's a bit better because we have these 2 cards, so I'm going to keep this in bottom of Thalia. I'm going to lead with Windswept Heath. Yeah, Deafening Silence is great against this deck. Tropical Island. Ponder. Okay. I wonder if... I think I'm still playing on curve here, especially with the second Thalia. I don't mind playing into a Daze. And I guess I kind of want to draw into a land so that for that small perspective of thinning, I just want to keep the Windswept Heath around. Nice, okay. Thalia's pretty good. It means this turn if they play a creature as well, we can Wasteland and Swords if we wish. This is also a great matchup for Sylvan Library, of course. If they tap out for Blighted Agent here, I would be more than happy. Yeah, it's always interesting. Hitting them off the actual mana as well would be really nice, but knowing we have a pretty clean end to the Inkmoth is pretty good as well. Ponder. Okay. See what they do with the Ponder. Maybe trying to find more land? Or just another creature. You know, sometimes you just can't rely on that one creature with Inkmoth. With Infect. Chose not to shuffle. Okay. Knight. Okay. Well then, I kind of like Knight here, and just hiding Wasteland. Or I guess we can actually play Wasteland because Knight by itself is just going to be pretty much showing off that we have Wasteland. So we can definitely attack first. And then they can't win next turn with Thalia out, which is nice. So I can definitely play this Knight. And I think we just want to go with Wasteland into Knight. Green, white. Can't be forced or dazed, which is perfect. I could have fetched to make it a 4/4, but I don't think that's relevant. If they have something like Dismember, that's probably their only way to get rid of it. Pongify? Blighted Agent's okay. And Noble's okay. So we're definitely using Wasteland in our turn to play around crop rotation. I think I like just doing both here. Because I'm using this Knight for Wasteland as well, I'm pretty happy just to use it right now. I just want to play around crop rotation as much as possible. Could be a woman. Could be a woman player. But yeah, the Knight's really nice, especially with the double Wasteland play. Another Inkmoth is pretty good. Brainstorm, okay. They've already played a land for turn, which is nice. So this means that they can't crop rotate in our turn as well, with Thalia out. Oh yeah, this isn't game over in any sense. It's just nice to get a little bit ahead on the board. Alright. What do we draw? Dryad Arbor. I guess Dryad's kind of nice because it makes them have to have something here. What's the nuts? Berserk and Invigorate. But if they have land, Invigorate, Berserk, it deals enough. So here, I don't actually mind just playing the second Thalia. It can't be countered, which is nice. And it just gets in 2 damage, and also keeps us back a little bit, which is nice. And I kind of want to block with Dryad Arbor and then sack that as the forest to Knight in their turn. But I feel like I want to use it now as well. So we can get blown out if we use it in their turn. Maybe that's just a little bit too greedy. But we're also pretty close to just having lethal on board. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We do have lethal on board if we go and get a Wasteland. Unless they hold back the Noble Hierarch, which they probably will. Yeah, I'm just going to pass here and hold up. Well, they can't because then they tap out and we have Wasteland up, so luckily the Inkmoth Nexus isn't doing too much through the Nether Reliquary. Brainstorm. Okay. Yeah, I was going to attack with the Knight next turn, because if I sack Dryad Arbor, that's 1, I can go and get Wasteland as well, which is 2, and if I... So I think the play here is to block with Thalia and the Dryad Arbor. No, I need the Thalia around. Melissa May. Hey Mel, a huge thank you for the stream, for the host. Hope you played well. I don't know what you played tonight. I'm sure it would have been pretty cool. Dead by Daylight, that's cool. Dead by Daylight's a pretty cool game. Looks kind of scary at times, though. Yeah, I don't know if they are attacking, which is kind of scary as well, because then it kind of turns our turn into nothing. I guess we can keep... we can at least get a fetch land and then fetch for a dual land again. We know we have another Taiga in the deck, so we can go and get another Taiga, which is pretty good. Why not get Cradle? I could get Cradle. I guess Cradle turns on Jide as a draw. Mel, that's a very cool emote. I'm a big fan of the emote. Welcome to Magic, Mel. We're currently... It is Winnie. I thought it was your dog. We're currently... Because you understand Magic, we're currently in Game 2 against Legacy Infect. We're down a game. Our opponent currently has no Infect on us, which is really nice. We have 1 Wasteland left in the deck to answer the Inkmoth Nexus. They just brainstormed. They have a fetch land. So they do have 2 mana to play with this turn. Killing it. I'm currently 0-2, so I'm sadly not killing it this league. We have a line to win, but we're also so terrified of our opponent's deck. Yeah. So our opponent is playing a deck that can kind of win out of nowhere, which is pretty insane. But we do have some pretty good tools to try to beat it and slow them down. This card here, Thalia, makes non-creature spells cost 1 more to cast, which is pretty sweet because a lot of their deck are non-creature spells that make their creatures bigger, so that's always pretty sweet. The first strike is really nice as well, which means that we deal damage if we block to a creature before they get to deal it to us. So that's pretty relevant. A lot of little things. Also, if they attack with the Glistener Elf, they just have to have an answer for the Knight, or at least enough pump spell to get rid of the Knight. I guess they could have Become Immense, which nearly kills the Knight. 1, 2, 8. I guess we can Wasteland ourselves or Wasteland something else. They're gonna fetch, so they have a plan. What do we got? Become Immense is kind of cool in this situation as well, because you can actually pay for Thalia's tax by delving an extra card. They disconnected? Ah, they lost connection. Rough. So Mill, as you can see, this is a pretty old setup. This game's from, I believe, the early 2000s, if not the 1990s. So you do disconnect sometimes, you do have players who disconnect, opponents who disconnect. Yep. Okay, maybe they're back. They got a forest. Looks like they are going to attack. No attacks, okay. Well, we're gonna go get this guy's Cradle in. And then hopefully draw into Jide. Jide or Green Suns would be kind of cool because they're both, you know, matter in... Haha, speaking of... Well, what can we get? Let's play the land first. Did we take out Tiles Tracker? We didn't. Oh, we did. Okay, cool. I guess Scryb Ranger is okay. Scryb Ranger is actually pretty cool. Hey, thank you very much, Mel. Enjoy your week, enjoy your night, and might see you again soon. Yeah, I think Green Suns is going to get Scryb Ranger, so we can definitely attack this turn. I guess if they have Force, then they can force the Green Suns if we have a Tap Knight, but I'm pretty happy for that. That's going to be okay. Oh, should definitely fetch. Yeah, should have definitely fetched before that, because we're going to fetch anyway. So hopefully that extra 1 damage doesn't come back to bite us. I guess Ramunap would have been nice as well. Qasali's pretty good. But I think Scryb Ranger is just the best because it answers Glistener Elf in Knight of the Reliquary, and it also allows us to untap Knight to get the last Wasteland. So I'm going to get Scryb Ranger. We have already played a land for turn in the Windswept Heath, so I can't actually replay a land, so I'm just going to pass here. If this does come back to bite us, maybe Ramunap was just the better play there, because we could have kept the Windswept Heath in hand, played the Green Suns for 3 still, got Wasteland. It also means that Dryad Arbor can block each turn pretty much and just come back from the graveyard. Unless they have a trample effect. Double Inkmoth is going to make this a little bit scarier. And Bladdered Agent, okay. So maybe here I actually want to go for... Yeah, I think Ramunap was probably a little bit better. But at least I can get Horizon Canopy here and draw a card. So we can go float, float, untap, probably return Dryad Arbor. And then sack the Taiga. Yeah. Qasali's nice. Alright, we lose that mana, we untap. Caracas. Well then. I feel like this Blighted Agent is going to be the end of us, and we don't currently have a way out of it. Knight does force a block, but I think Noble Hierarch's a pretty easy card to put in front. Actually, I think it's Glistener Elf that goes in front, because I think Noble Hierarch with Blighted Agent, with the cards they have in hand, is probably going to be lethal. I guess they could put an Inkmoth in front of it, but we can Qasali Pridemage beforehand. So let's go for Qasali first. Knight for Kessig Wolfrun. Should be playing it. We can play Dryad Arbor. Can't do anything with the floating mana. I guess we could also attack with all creatures. I don't think we really mind. I mean, if we attack with Thalia and Knight, and then they use one of their pump spells to kill the Thalia, I think that's okay. I think that's fine. At best, it gets through another point of damage. Yeah, I'm actually happy with that. I'm happy with taking with both of these. So we get two points in first, which is nice. Maybe I have to Wasteland here on the tropical island just to keep my opponent off mana. Because I don't think we have to... I think the Scryb Ranger can easily just die to a Inkmoth Nexus here. So I think I have to untap Knight, return this forest, and then sack Plateau. For the last Wasteland. We're not playing our Crop Rotation, but if they have Crop Rotation in hand, I don't really mind. That's not really a card that I'm worried about right now. And now we pass. They have had a few turns to sculpt their hand, so they need to either win right now or just not have it. They haven't gone to combat yet, so that gives me a little bit of hope. Always scary. Always a little bit scary. They could still win over 2 turns, that's correct. This Dryad Arbor is also one of our last forests in the deck. Okay, so they're going to tick up an agent. Exalted. No. Haha. Invigorate. All right. What can we do? What can we draw? Snow-covered plains. Yeah, I'm thinking that attack with everything should just win the game. Because they can only block 2. So if they block here, they still take 3. Yeah. Sideboard. I think I'm still happy with how this went. None of these cards really represent anything that I was missing in game 2. Tracker would be nice, but I don't think we have the luxury of a game going long like that in game 3, especially when they're on the play. So I'm just going to go back and submit the same list and see how this goes. Hey, Matsoul, that's a cool looking badge there. It's a cool looking badge, my friend. Infect's always an interesting matchup. They can just have it. They can have the nuts on turn 2. But usually there's a bit of interaction going back and forth. You know, cards like Thalia allow us to have... Oh, this is actually a nice hand. This is a pretty nice hand. It's a 1-lander, but we do have these 2 cards. We also have Force, which is cool, and Swords to Plowshares. So I think we just have to keep this. I kind of hope they start on a Noble Hierarch. Or a Ponder. Either of those are fine. Come on, Ponder. Okay, well that's kind of scary. Grove. Alright, let's go for birds. I have a feeling they have it. Come on, mate. Days. Okay. Don't be Invigorate, please. Noble Hierarch. Okay. Just double Invigorate? Please don't do that. Please don't do that. Okay, there's one. Ooh, Punishing Fire. Interesting. I guess Punishing Fire is really our only play. We could go with Noble Hierarch pass. We're definitely playing this forest. Let's do that. Now, I guess we could go Green Suns for Dryad Arbor and play Noble Hierarch. That's playing it pretty safe. I think Punishing Fire is just so big. Hiya! Ah! Yes! Okay, okay. That's always a nice feeling. Nice. Debinder, I am with you 100%. Blooded Agent. Okay, that's pretty rough. Come on, White Sauce. White Sauce. Ah! Haha! Still works. Come on. Oh, no, a fetch. Of course. Maybe they want to brainstorm in response? That'd be pretty nice. Looks like a save. Okay. Well... maybe I was supposed to wait for the fetch? I don't think they would. I think they would just untap. I mean, we have one turn to get white source, and we just hope they don't draw anything. But they do have currently 6 infect, so... Really, any spell does it. Jack, I don't feel safe. Maybe I should feel safer. I guess my opponent has taken some time this turn, so... We're just 6 in this. We're just 6 in this and we're closing our eyes. I just want to hear that sound of the pass turning. Haha! Okay, okay. Not too shabby. Wasteland. Interesting. Well, we definitely want to swords this right now. I think we do want to get this back. They've already dealt with Birds of Paradise, so we can't actually get another mana dork that produces red. And I kind of like keeping the green suns for force, just in case. I guess if they have crop rotation, it's not too bad. Maybe it was better there just to green suns, because... No, I guess if they have crop rotation, then we just lose. Oh, yeah, we just lose. Because you have to tap the Wasteland for that. Wow, okay, just a pass back. Maybe they attack? I would love to see an attack here from my opponent. If you're doing nothing else, you might as well get the damage in. Yes! Yes, opponent! Windswept's pretty nice. So now we can even... I guess we can Green Suns for Night here and hold up... Yeah, I like Green Suns for Night. I'm also at 5 minutes, so I need to find a clock pretty quickly. So let's go... Green Suns for 3. Spell Pierce. Okay. Night. Just what the doctor ordered. I'm going to try Wasteland first. Okay. Let's go for Night. And then attack for 1. I mean, this does, like, lose to crop rotation, of course. Yeah, maybe I should have Wasteland and end step just to see what they have. Maybe they don't play crop rotation, hopefully. Okay, nice. Oko. Okay. Interesting. If we draw a fetch land, we can actually deal with this. Oh, we do. Okay. Punishing Fire, Noble Hierarch. Fetch. Just gonna get a Taiga. attack Oko, play Thalia. Whew. Okay. I can turn a 3-turn clock into a 2-turn clock if I play this Night Out, but I think because I just lose to crop rotation, I'm happy to keep up Force of Vigor. And also Punishing Fire. All right. Attack for lethal. Oh, they could have used a food token. Interesting. But they didn't. Interesting. Yeah, they could have bought a turn. Maybe they just didn't see. Yeah, okay. Well, it's nice to get on the on the drawing board. That's for sure. And we're straight into our next match. Dischanter. Interesting. I feel like I'm getting some sort of like Enchantress vibe off this player. Dischanter. This hand is interesting. Well, it's pretty fun, man. A lot more back and forth than I first thought. I'm gonna keep this. I'm gonna keep this. A little bit fair, but it looks like a pretty fun hand to play with, so... Oh, we saw a Chancellor? Okay, well that's pretty rough. Maybe we should just... I guess if they go off this turn... Do I play this out, or do I hide what I'm on? I think I play this out. I think because we do have outs, you know, there are four swords to Plowshares in the deck. I guess the Chancellor is pretty rough. The Chancellor is pretty rough. Yeah, Hurricane, you're very correct. So let's bring in... Leyline's pretty great. I don't mind the Veils on the play. Force is interesting. I don't mind Force because of Animate Dead. I think we can take out Teeg. Dryad Militant does hit... it does hit... Faithless Looting, which is interesting. I think Hexdrinker can probably come out. Can probably drop a Grove. Can drop... this is pretty interesting. Questing Beast can go. Tireless Tracker can go. Collector Ouphe does hit Lotus Petal, which is interesting. Probably not enough, but it, it is something that may help. I could drop a Mum. I don't mind dropping a Mum, especially in this matchup. If they knew what we are on, they might bring in something like Grave Titan or Archetype of Endurance, but I think this is pretty good. Questing Beast does have Death Touch, but I think if we're at the situation where we can actually cast and attack with Questing Beast, then we're doing pretty well. I think everything else has its place. We have Graveyard Hate in Kitharos. We have Knights for Karakas. Collector Ouphe is, somewhat a hate bear that does something. Green Suns is still great because it can find Skoos. Maybe it's just, I think this is fine. This is 60 cards. We'll see how this plays out. Maybe they don't sideboard for Leyline, and so we can maybe steal a game 2. And this end looks pretty good, especially with Skoos back up. If they're going to concede, maybe I shouldn't have shown the Wooded Foothills. Yeah, I could have gone Wasteland. I was going to get Dryad Arbor. In before they brought it into Show and Tell. Very much could have. And Scavenging Ooze is a pretty nice take for this Unmask. So actually, let's not 6 here. Could have also brought in, like, Pack Rat. Looks like they're gonna looting. Okay. Interesting. What if they hit the, like a land they need off Pluto Delta? I guess maybe they're not going for jewels because of the Wasteland, but... we'll see what happens. Hitting a Dark Writ's kind of nice. Hey, episode 25. Welcome to the stream. All right, let's start those beats. Or draw a 2-drop and play it. Knight's pretty nice. Let's go for Savannah. Attack. And now I'm not gonna 6 this turn to act like we maybe drew into Veil of Summer, but it might just be a pass here. Looks like it is. Alright, well this is definitely a snap. Oh, no, it's gotta be Knight here, unfortunately. Well, there's definitely no way that I'm not playing God of Destiny next turn. Plateau. I could Wasteland them, or I could just keep attacking. If I attack for 4 here, it puts them to 15, or 14 with the Pluto Delta. And then I can get pretty close to a 2-turn clock. I think I'm happy with attacking. I think they can't deal with double leyline right now. So I think this is fine. Ellie says hey. Unfortunately, I know a few Ellies. Not unfortunately, I just can't put my finger on the one that you're talking about. Another leyline, interesting. Alright, so here we have to get rid of Skoos. They might have Serenity? Yeah, they might have Serenity, that's very true. Why get rid of Skoos? That's all good. They're on 13. I can make it a 6. I actually like wastelanding ourselves here, because if we attack for 6, we put them to 7, and if they fetch, then another 6 is just going to be lethal. But now they know about Leyline as well, which is a little bit scary. It's Wednesday, my dudes. It is Wednesday. Haha. Alright. Up on game 2. Do I want to change anything? I don't think I do. I think it's a case of just running this back. Veil could definitely go out in the draw. I think we have to keep this. It doesn't really do anything. That's the issue. This is like a null rod hand. It just... Alright, let's see what happens. I mean, my opponent might actually scoop before we do anything. Or they could, like, play like Pack Rat or something else. We do have a land drop, which is nice. Oh, and a snow-covered forest. That's pretty sweet. Savannah would have been cool, because then we could actually replay it with Scryb Ranger if we don't draw into a third land. Looting. Okay. Looting's fine. Only needs one fetch and you're golden. Matsol, I couldn't have said it better myself. Because it also works because the knights are multicolored. They're golden. It works in more than one ways. Grizzle reanimate Faithless Looting. Ouch, okay. If this gets a white source... Okay. Reverend Silence. Rough. Ritual, okay. Oh, I thought Reverend Silent was... Okay, destroy all enchantments. Interesting. This is looking pretty good for my opponent. Thanks, Dad. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't do anything. You know what? I guess I could have maybe played, instead of 4 ley lines, played 3 ley lines and a surgical. We do have some nice outs, though. We do have Caracas. We do have Force of Vigor. It's going to be pretty tough, but, you know, there are outs. Debinder, you are 100% correct. If they have it, they have it. And yeah, Jack, I'm a huge fan of the 4 ley lines or no ley lines. I never really quite understand those people that play 1 ley line. Why do you do it? Why do you do it? Ooh, Chancellor, okay. Just commit. For the memes. Yeah, 3 is that awkward spot where you just want to fit one more card in your sideboard. You just want to fit that one card. One card. One card. What is it? I guess we are at 26, so we have some outs. Taiga, interesting. We will play it and pass. I don't think it's worth wastelanding our opponent. I think it's worth trying to hold up Scryb Ranger through the Chancellor. Cabal Therapy naming Knight of the Reliquary would be very cool. Yeah, I really like Leyline right now because it really turns off the whole graveyard as a resource. I mean, even though our opponent did have the Reverend Silence there or dig for it with Faithless Looting, they had to dig for it before they could really commit to anything on the board. I really want to play a Qasali Ambusher in Legacy in some sort of deck. The card is a 3-drop 2/3 with Reach. And if you top deck Bolt for the win, that would be kind of nice. I think we might even just see another Cabal Therapy here. Okay. It would be fantastic as a 2/4. It'd be a little bit too good as a 2/4. It'd stop so many things. Even like bouncing off Resto Angel is pretty cool. We can beat this. This is sadly just GG. Alright, so we're sadly in the predicament of being in a 1/3, which I would love to be out of. And, you know, finishing with a 2/3 would be a little bit of credit, but yeah, tough games. I think there's definitely a little bit of improvement to the deck. I really want to talk to Mark Strassman, who I believe is an American player, loves punishing Maverick, is really, really good with it. But yeah, talk about maybe his thoughts on Bolt. The new God is interesting, but it's a little bit clunky. Maybe it's better in the board for some of the matches where it's actually that relevant. So many 1/2s. Yeah, which I think is Maverick in a nutshell right now. Debinder, you read my mind, because Mark will be doing an interview on the Green Sun Zenith, which is very cool. Hopefully, probably out next week, just to give him some time to put together some answers to the questions that I put forward to him. But even, like, I would love to know, like, his thoughts on why you would tell someone to play Punishing Maverick over 4-color Loam, per se. Because I think the one thing that is quite mainstream right now is, like, why would you play Punishing Fire when you can just play 4-color Loam? And it's, you know, it's great to see players who are sticking with Punishing Fire and obviously putting up results as well, like Mark himself. Yeah, Klothys does seem pretty cool, especially in a deck where you can cast it turn 2. Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Like, the best thing we have done with the God so far is exile a life from the Loam, but, you know, if our opponent has an instant speed cycle land, then it's not really doing that much. It was kind of cool as well against some of the lands decks. It's funny because people used to ask it the other way around. Interesting! I did not know that. As in saying, why would you play 4-color alone when you can play Punishing Maverick? Okay. Spatula of the Ages. Interesting. Show chat. Yes. We're definitely keeping this. Nice fast mana. We have Mum for protection. We have swords for some other things. Yeah, it's not really the Graveyard Hate you want. I think if you were after Graveyard Hate, you might just want to play... Oh, okay. We're playing against Enchantress. Interesting. Okay, let's go for Green Suns off a Savannah for Dryad Arbor. Good old 1/3 Breaker Enchantress. To be fair, Enchantress has got some pretty cool new tools over the past couple of months. Especially that new creature that can turn lands into pretty cool things. What's this? Green Suns for 2. Okay. Most likely the drawer land? Yeah, okay. Okay. See, is Gaddock Teeg good enough against this deck or not? I don't think Gaddock Teeg is really where I want to be. What 2-drops have I got that are good against this deck? Let's quickly get up. MTG Goldfish. Alright. What are we looking at? Yeah. Like, cast out? Everything is below Gaddock Teeg's spectrum. They play Gaddock Teeg themselves. So, yeah, I think that maybe just going all in on Knight here is going to be what we really want to do. But even post-board, like, what do we bring in? Force? I guess Force of Vigor is interesting. Abundant Growth, okay. Flicker Wisp is really nice. There was a point as well where I was playing the split of 1 Ghost Quarter, 3 Wasteland when Black-Green Depths was a big deck and Pithing Needle was a huge thing. Exploration? Interesting. I guess we do have access to Qasali Pridemage, which is kind of nice. Ghost Quarter plan. I wish we had it. I really do. Sterling Grove. Other enchantments you control over Shroud. Okay. So I think while they're tapped out, unless they sacrifice it now, I have to just use it. I have to go and get Qasali Pridemage and get rid of this Sterling Grove. Nope. Okay. We don't get the chance. That's fine. Doomwake Giant. Okay. Well, at least Doomwake Giant we can kill with either Swords to Plowshares or Qasali Pridemage. And we draw it. Okay. I think I'm happy with Plateau. Qasali. I guess we could have played Mum there as well, but I don't really want to throw her under the bus when we have this Titan coming down. I guess Hexdrinker is not the worst either. It can do some cool things. Savannah. This means we can't actually deal... Okay. So we can at least deal with, with both of these, we can deal with Doomwake Giant. But it's going to be pretty tough. I believe Doomwake Giant, yeah, is double. I think in response to this, I just have to... They have no amount of floating, so they can't search. So let's go after this. And now we can just swords this. Oh, we can't? Oh, it's an enchantment, of course. Okay. I mean, we still just have the plan of double knight. So much mana. So much mana. I guess Deafening Silence would be pretty good here as well. Hey. Naasa, thanks for the follow. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what do you play in Legacy? Good old Enchantress. Dreadnought, welcome to the stream. Okay. I guess we can go for Questing Beast as well. Questing Beast is kind of cool, and it stops that, Questing Beast actually also stops that card that, the one that prevents damage. The only issue I have with that is if they play Doomwake Giant and then literally just have enough mana to play enough spells to kill the Knight and the Questing Beast. But I think if that's the case, then we're just going to be dead anyway. There's no way coming back from that. So we might as well try to get Questing Beast here. We're not playing Knight of Autumn, so we're just playing the Qasali Pridemage main deck, and then we are playing Force of Vigor in the sideboard. Blocking, okay. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Hey, Baby Bite, thanks for the follow. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what do you play in Legacy? So James, I do have a Pioneer event coming up. I might put some content out about Pioneer, but I'm playing kind of an off-the-grid deck in Councils, in Junk, like Junk Aggro. Just a deck that a friend has, but it looks pretty fun. So yeah, here we might just die to the Doomwake Giant, unfortunately. Maybe maybe there was a line where I could have just kept up Swords to Plowshares. But no. Okay. Please don't have enough. Well, they're gonna try. Looks like they can at least kill the Questing Beast. Wow. You're from Denmark, play different things, but fave deck is D&T. Interesting. Couldn't kill the Knight. Nice. I do not jack. Mum. We definitely could have, yeah. Could have played a land as well. To be fair though, our opponent has a hand that can pretty much be sculpted. And they could just cast like Emrakul here. If they play Emrakul. What else do they pay as a payoff? Green Suns for 2, okay. Ah, interesting. Oh, they can do this for multiple lands? Wow. Okay, we're just dead. Haha, we are definitely dead. Yeah, they likely have Emmy kill, but that's a very cool kill. What do we like? I think we have Force. Veil does nothing. Jide does nothing. Pyroblast does nothing. What do we want to take out? Probably the Punishing Fires. They don't do a whole lot. Collector Ouphe doesn't do a whole lot. Maybe Punishing Fire is better than that. Ramunap's interesting. The God is interesting because I believe they do have some sort of graveyard card that allows them to get a card back from their graveyard. It's an enchantment that you sacrifice and you... Ouphe for Helm? Yeah, it's fair if they're playing Helm. But I guess it isn't doing anything bad for us either. What do we cut? What do we cut? I think we can most likely take out... Probably Gaddock Teeg. Like, out of the board, they probably don't have that much else. So let's look at probably another Doomwake Giant. Probably the Worship. Humility. Okay. So maybe some of these cards we want to be playing the Gaddock Teeg for. Yeah. Probably like a Wasteland, to be fair. And Dryad Militant isn't the greatest. Maybe it's better than Punishing Fire. Yeah, let's just take out Punishing Fire, to be fair. To be frank. Teeg doesn't stop Doomwake Giant, but luckily Swords to Plowshares does. I guess it also stops... Yeah. I think it just stops some of the Haymakers out of the board. And it only turns us off these cards, which isn't too bad. Tough, but I think this is at least a fair deck to play against. This hand's pretty good. We'll keep this. Can Green Suns... The double swords is actually pretty rough. So I guess we get Taiga off this to have all colors. Grove. Next time we can just hardcast the Force, which is nice. And I think it's worth just using this Force of Will on the Wild Growth and Utopia Sprawl. Just to try to slow them down a little bit with mana, or else they're just going to get out of hand. Beast is really nice as a follow-up as well. Beast is great because it gives us a little bit more of a clock. Okay. Okay, well, Swords is definitely not a card that we really want in this matchup. I can definitely say that. Swords is really for Doomwake Giant, but we definitely don't need all three in our in our first couple of draws. And yeah, the creature that makes lands into XXs. Karakas is pretty nice to deal with the Questing Beast. The issue is we just didn't have anything to really bring in. Black creature's gonna attack you. Okay. How do we pay for this? Do we go to attacks and then it triggers? I guess we could have attacked with the Questing Beast as well, just to make them use the Karakas, but much of a muchness. To be fair, looking at the hand, I think it was just the Force of Vigor that made me sort of snap keep it, where having the two swords in our opening hand just isn't what we want to be doing. We kind of want to be drawing into one maybe late, like mid to late game. This is where I really miss, I guess, like, Blazing Volley would have been pretty sweet in this matchup. Or even in this sort of, in these leagues, it would have been pretty good. Yeah, sadly I don't really have an out to any of this. They have 10 cards in hand. and mana for days, so... Unfortunately, that is a 1-4, which is pretty brutal after a 4-1 on the recorded games, but the list seemed pretty fun. And to be fair, Punishing Maverick is really fun to play, so no loss there. But yeah, I definitely think maybe we can find some room for bolts. Maybe it's even taking out the second Jide, or not having Jide at all and just having more removal spells. I could even see going back up to a 3 Punishing Fires and taking out one of these. Maybe the God of Destiny is more a sideboard card than a main deck card. That could be pretty rough. Yeah, 4-1s do happen. And the best thing about 4-1s is that against the decks you lose against, you find some of the weaknesses of the deck and where you should improve. So you can definitely, you know, come away with a few insights that you might not get from a win, which is always nice. And even just little things like, you know, keeping a hand because you have a Force of Vigor or a ley line and then losing that game can definitely point you in the right direction of keeping a ley line hand that actually also has a plan. How needed would you say is the second library? I wouldn't say the second library is needed, but I do really good. Hey, Spatula, that is more than fine. Wait, were you just the, surely you were just... Yeah, dude, Enchantress is a very cool deck. The new creature, the Spinner, is insane. And it's really cool that it gives the deck another sort of piece of attack. It's just tough because we don't have too much to bring in for Enchantress. But I could see Blazing Volley in this deck. I think I kind of like it as a sweeper. But, you know, it is really good against the Young Pyromancer decks. Enchantress is okay against, but it's pretty good against Death and Taxes. Some of the go-wide strategies that this deck actually has an issue with, so I wouldn't trying it. Library is nuts. The reason I like playing 2 is that you just see it more often. like there are leagues where I've played with one library and I've never seen it. You just sometimes don't see it. So the second library is there, but I kind of feel like Tireless Tracker maybe isn't needed because of the two libraries. I feel like if you're playing like just one library, you can go with a tracker, and that's sort of enough card draw for the deck. But I think as well, because Maverick, of course, is very resilient in its consistency, and I think Sylvan Library really helps with that. Against the decks where you really need to dig for some of your silver bullets or removal, you don't care about taking the extra 4 life. So against things like Green-Black Depths, where you're going to die if you're on 14 life or 6 life, you might as well aggressively use Sylvan Library to try to draw into Shield's Plowshares or Wasteland or another Reliquary. Sudden Demise is really interesting as well. A little bit more mana intensive, but I have definitely seen it in testing. But it would be interesting to see if we could play around with trying out something like Blazing Volley in the sideboard, because it is only, of course, 1 red mana and it's only your opponent's creatures, which is nice. So that's pretty interesting. But that is that's me for the time being. A huge thank you to you guys for coming in. You can find all my recordings and streams on my YouTube channel. You can also find me on Twitter. If you like my content, please follow. I do have a follower goal. I want to get to 1,000 hopefully by the end of March, which would be very cool. But yeah, unfortunately we didn't go as well as we hoped tonight, but definitely learned a lot playing this deck. Punishing Maverick has a lot of play to it, which is really nice. Monkey Minded, thank you very much for the follow. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what do you play in Legacy? I do have some new content coming out this week as well on the Green Sun Zenith. I'm currently doing a bit of a primer on Umezawa's Jide, which might also be appealing to some of the Death and Taxes players or just Legacy players in general, and knowing a little bit more about that. And then also I have some sort of player profiles coming out. One with Mark Strassman, who's really well known for playing Punishing Maverick. And then one as well with Rascal, who is a player in Canada, which is pretty cool. What do I think of Jide in Modern? I think it'd be pretty absurd. You're from Finland, and I only played Burn in Legacy since I started playing MTG at all just over a year ago. Hey, well, very cool to see you in Legacy in just a year. I hope the Legacy scene in Finland is pretty good. But yeah, so we're back next Sunday with hopefully a new deck. I do actually have a deck from a sub, so I need to play that. It is going to be Slivers, which is very cool. It's a deck I've never played. It's probably it's actually the one last Vile deck that I haven't played, so Slivers should be pretty sweet. It's got a lot of game to it. It plays Force of Will, which is nice. It also plays Aether Vial, which is definitely one of my favorite cards. So that should be pretty good. I have played Esper in paper, so that deck's actually pretty fun as well. That'll have to be on the stream at some point as well. So we'll see how that goes. But until then, let's send you over to someone, because I definitely want to send you guys over to probably the Oracle. He's usually got some pretty good content going on. So let's go to Creator Dashboard. But yeah, a huge thank you again to all you guys, especially those in chat all the time. Yeah, Slivers is very fun. Slivers is shenanigans, as Randy Bueller would say. Alright, I'm gonna raid. Thanks again. We'll see you guys on Sunday. Enjoy your weeks ahead. And that's it.